if you could just say your name and spell it for us, that way
Okay.
it's on.
Alexis Downs, Alexisdowns.
Okay, so I know you had your oldest Huxley in the hospital, and then baby Theo home birth. So tell us the differences. Tell us from all of it.
Okay. I feel like my hospital birth, my hospital birth went exactly how it was supposed to. And I feel like that's a problem. Meaning, like with the home birth, everything was not rushed. Everything was due to my body. Like I was made to feel like my body was made to birth something, which it is. But in the hospital, it was more so very like, we're going to do this way and that way. And that's just how it's going to go in a timely manner. I just kind of was at their will, like, whatever you say works. So that's what happened with the hospital birth. With the home birth, though, it felt more like I had control over my body, over my labor, my delivery. It was so empowering. Like, as soon as we were done, I was like, let's do it again. Like, I'm ready for the next one. It was lovely, though. It was lovely.
Awesome. So, what were your experiences with having a midwife?
She was wonderful. I cannot say enough wonderful things about Amanda. Amanda was great too because I felt more heard and understood compared to like the OB, which last time I had a great OB, but like for example, she didn't even deliver hugs. So a lot of times you get so in love with your OB and your doctor or your provider, and then there's no guarantee that they're even going to be in the room with you. Meanwhile, Amanda, she was very hands-on. She's very personable. And it was like 45-minute to an hour appointments each and every time that you go. So I liked that because I felt like I got to know her better. And then I just felt more comfortable and safe whenever it was time to actually like let's do this. So it was wonderful with her compared to the last way around.
What was the biggest differing point that made it like make or break with you with the hospital versus home?
I think I think back to like how I said everything was very rushed. With the hospital, for example, I was given Pitocin unbeknownst to me. I had no idea. I woke up and they were like, hey, we gave you Pitocin. And I was like, okay, which it was my first time. I didn't know. So I'm like, well, why? And they said, you just weren't progressing fast enough. So again, it felt very, this is what we do, so you're going to do it, not your body was made to do this. So we're going to trust with how you're feeling. You do the different positions that you need to do. It was very by the book. Meanwhile, Amanda was very like, how are you feeling right now? Where is your pain? Well, let's stand up and let's do these things to help. And it just night and day difference. Like that in itself compared to like them just being so encouraging. I have never felt more empowered than after knowing that I had a home birth with a midwife. She was phenomenal. So I can't wait to do it again.
I was just gonna ask, how did you prep for your pregnancy? Did you see your doctor a lot? Did you change your eating habits? Did you do anything different?
So Amanda's very, like I said, she's very personable. So everything is really, I feel like more so catered to you than with the OB. So like she truly gets to know your eating habits, your daily habits, just everything. Just kind of tweaking what needs to be tweaked, but also just like, see, I didn't go to the OB with this one because the midwife is able to do a lot of the same things that they do. They do the labs and everything like that. I think the only thing that I actually went to an actual OB for this time around was for an ultrasound. It was for the anatomy scan. They do that like at the halfway point. So I was able to go and get that done with the actual doctor, but then Amanda was able to do everything else. And I just wanted to do that so that I knew he was fine, just for my own peace of mind. So, but I mean, everything, she's able to do really everything that they can do. And she only takes low risk clients, which I think a lot of people don't understand. They think like doctors see the worst, which makes sense. So they're going to be more cautious about certain things. But Amanda vets these people like before, and really any midwife that I've heard of would vet people before they take on a client. So if you're high risk, they're going to be like, we think it's probably best that you do stay in a hospital setting. But with Amanda, I felt like I was getting the optimal care due to my circumstances and stuff like that.
You have another question? I'll get.
Yeah, go ahead.
Take your
I
time.
guess I was just gonna ask. Well, you know, Mississippi has high preterm birth rates, so I was
Yeah.
just gonna ask, just what are your thoughts towards that? What are your feelings towards?
I think there's a lot. See, I think there's a lot of misinformation about there with a lot of things. I think, and this is going to be a controversial thing probably for some. I think like people saying like, oh, you have a really big baby. It's not always the case. Like I was told that with Hux, he was going to be huge. Like, and I was thinking like 9-10 pounds. I was like, oh gosh. But then when he got here, he was 7'15", which for some that's a large baby, but he really wasn't big. So I think they do intervene a lot, which in some cases they do have to, and I totally understand that. But in a lot of cases, I feel like it's more so having control over what they think needs to happen. So it's like, let's induce you then. And it's not always needed, I think. I think there's a lot of interventions that really don't have to happen. But to each, every case is different.
What were the major pros for midwives, and why would you do, what makes you want to do it again? What is the major points for you?
I think feeling heard and understood, and just, it's a different kind of empowerment. With Hux, I was very excited afterwards, but then to be able to say I did that, with Theo, with our home birth, I did that. I didn't need medication. My body was built to do this. Coming to that and understanding that through this process, that I'm able to do this. And people have been birthing babies without the hospitals since babies have been being born. So I think it's just really empowering. And I think for me, I was like, okay, that in itself, as well as being understood and heard and felt to really be cared for, I think that was just for me, the done deal. I'm like, let's do it again.
What was the difference in recovery time?
So much better, honestly. Which and I think too, because I wasn't rushed with Theo, so no tearing is one thing. A lot of people are like, what? And you had a home birth? But also they encourage you to drink water and to eat food, which when I found out that the midwife was like, oh yeah, we want you to do that. We want you to be able to eat throughout your labor. I was like, oh my gosh, because last time I was begging for ice chips, please. I felt like I was dehydrated, but they were like, no, you can't, just in case. But it was just wonderful. Little things like that meant so much to me, to be able to have the energy to get through a 37-hour labor and push through, and at the end of it be like, okay, I'm better. Everything's fine. I just felt so much better afterwards, as far as I wasn't as achy. I feel like I recovered so much better afterwards this time around. It was wonderful.
Great afterwards too.
Thank you.
That's so amazing. Oh my gosh, did
Thank you.
That's a long labor. So, I'm sure you know about the midwife bill that can be passed. They need to be licensed in Mississippi and stuff about that. I'm sure you're a pro for that, right?
Yes.
What are your thoughts on?
I think, honestly, I wish that more hospitals had midwives in their staff, truly, because I feel, another thing, I think it goes back to insurance. I think a lot of insurance companies kind of dictate whether, it's harder for people to get home births because they don't want to cover midwifery care, which is really sad. So a lot of these women that, they speak what they want, but they're not able to get what they want because, insurance says we can't do the midwifery route, so we're going to have to go the hospital route. I feel like especially when insurance companies start to prioritize, and realize and give love to midwifery care, okay, this is not a bad thing. This used to be the main thing that we used to do. Hopefully that can be another reason why, because I know a lot of people want to have home births and they just feel like they can't afford it, so they're having to pay out of pocket. But yeah, I wish that we had more midwifery care in the hospitals.
It's more a personal question, but I know how much Amanda charges. Was it even comparable with hospitals?
Girl, no, it was it was less than $10,000 with Amanda, without a doubt. Right. I want to say, which we paid for a doula as well. That was not with Amanda, but it was around $6,200, I think, which I have friends that were pregnant around the same time as me, and the lowest one, it was $22,000. And I'm like, it's insane. It's insane, and we're not being heard, which is really sad. So that's just a whole other topic in itself.
Oh, yeah.
I could talk on that for days, but yes, yeah.
What is your encouragement to other moms to use midwives and doulas and the at-home and the extra care?
We were meant to do this. We were made to do it, which I think is super cool. And you have 9 months. I think a lot of people hear home birth, or even not even home birth, let's just say unmedicated, and they think, whoa, girl, I'm gonna take that epidural, which that was me the first time. But the second time around, when you get to know and do your research and read and hear, okay, you come to the understanding of, we were made to do this. Our mothers and grandmothers, ancestors have done this since the dawn of time. So it's no different. We truly do have it in us. It's just becoming equipped with the knowledge and understanding. And so, you can do it. You can absolutely do it.
And hospital versus home, could Tyler, your husband, be more involved? I'm sure he could be more involved in the home versus hospital.
It was phenomenal. Because like Tyler was able to just everything. He was able to be a part of it more so. Last time it was, all right, Dad, let's get to the side real quick and let's get in here, let's do this. And a lot of times with like Huxley, it's very boom, boom, boom. So they're just jumping in and they're doing it. And we don't know what's kind of going on. Even me, Tyler doesn't know what's going on half the time. But with this time, I felt like Tyler was truly able to be present and he was truly able to be a part of it, which for me helped me tremendously. And I know that he appreciated that as well. And then at the end of it, it just was lovely to feel him be so proud of me. And I look back at some of the pictures and I'm like, I can get so emotional talking about it because he was so encouraging just to be able to do the counter pressure and to get me the water and help with the massages. Like, it was phenomenal compared to last time. It was wonderful.
What was the difference in babies? Because I know there's a big difference.
Oh, this one is so calm. This one is so calm. And I'm hoping that he stays a good baby because Huxley was calm, but then I had him and I was like, whoa, like this is a really calm baby. So he's wonderful. He's one, and Hux is too.
In the drugged,
yes.
and without the drugs
Yeah,
after
absolutely.
the babies.
I felt, and maybe it's, I don't know, I've heard it can also be due to the epidural, which I'm not positive on it yet. I still am researching it. But when I had the epidural the last time, I didn't feel an instant connection right away, which I know some people do, some people don't. But with this one, I did. I felt more present. I felt more there. And so afterwards, it was just immediate. Like, it was insane, the difference as far as that goes as well. Mm-hmm. It was really cool.
Yes. All right, I think that's about it.
Yeah.
Answered lots of good questions.